I'll be reacting and recapping the Colin and Daisy drama from season 4, episodes 10 and 11 of Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Literally the most entertaining love triangle of all time in my eyes. So, episode 10 starts with the grossest reality TV moment of all time. I swear, like, this would be in the running. There's a plumbing issue on the boat and they have to figure out a poop situation. They're like gagging. Colin is pressurizing something to push poop out, but at the perfect kind of way. I mean, it's not a pretty scene. Colin's like, "Is this why Gary calls you Daisy Poo?" to Daisy. Poor Daisy. First the poop joke, and then later in the episode, there's numerous comments about her snoring like a bear. I mean, yeah. They get a tip, and apparently it's Gary's birthday. So they're all going out and they have a full day off. So they have a little party for Gary, and he asks Daisy to be nice to him tonight, whatever that means. Daisy feels awful that maybe she's been like making too many jokes about Gary or he's getting sensitive or something like that. But I mean, I feel like it was kind of unnecessary. Daisy wasn't like out of line or anything. He was the one like hooking up with a million people while she thought maybe she had a chance with him. Anyways, on the ride back from that little party, Chase is like walking on the roof with his feet, and Mads and Gary are, doing their thing. They're like hooking up again. So, and Gary asks Colin in like his party mode. Of course, this is on his mind. He's like asking if he's going to hook up with Daisy tonight. And Colin looks at the camera like, oh God, this is televised. Like his face was like so awkward. And Gary then has a super long hug with Daisy, then almost immediately makes out with Mads in the hot tub. So weird. Standard Gary stuff though. I'm sure some psychologists will probably say that Gary had like some type of attachment style where he just needs female attention all the time or to create drama or something, because that's kind of what I would say. But anyways, Daisy says that she could see herself being with Colin and that he makes her feel secure and she just wants him to lay next to her. So do we, Daisy. So do we. And Colin is just the greatest catch probably to ever appear on the show on Bravo. Like, what do you guys think about that, to be honest? Anyways, Gary keeps bringing up the fact that Daisy and Colin hooked up like a broken record throughout these 2 episodes, and Colin keeps like responding kind of awkwardly. Like he doesn't want to get too much into it, but he's on a show, so he's got to do his job. Then they get dropped off at this cabana place, ready to drink. People are talking about how Daisy snores like a bear. I mentioned this at the beginning. Poor Daisy. Colin slips that last year's chef was way better. And of course, this makes like the current chef storm off in the bathroom, immediately breaks into tears. Poor chef, she is not getting that much airtime, and now this. So Gary starts to dance with Daisy, and Colin's like, what the heck? There's basic respect you have for someone you're hooking up with. And this is great to hear from a guy because he's right. There should be respect shown, even if you're just hooking up with that person. And I feel like a lot of people forget that in the world. Anyways, we all probably have stories. Colin and Daisy canoodle a little bit. She kisses him in front of Gary. And I think this was a trigger for Gary. Like, he kind of seems to spiral. And then, they have this big argument to the side where he accuses her of spitefully hooking up. Gary, let Daisy live, please, for God's sakes. She asks him, why didn't you kiss me in London? And Daisy's basically saying that he made his bed. He made his choices to hook up with all the stewardesses. And now that he can't have her, he is reacting to that. And then ultimately, the ultimate betrayal is that he just yells that they slept together and it was amazing. He later admits this was to get back at her because, you know, he didn't really like the fact that she didn't want to admit to that. And basically, Gary just came and tried to ruin what Daisy had going on, like straight up. So there's this weird thing where Alex and Mads kind of like reconnect or something. And then Alex ends up falling asleep on top of the boat waiting for her while she totally just like gets sidetracked and gets into bed with Gary, which is super awkward. So there's a lot going on this boat. At the end of the night, though, Daisy, because she knows Gary said it on camera, she actually confesses to Colin that she hooked up with Gary twice or whatever. And Colin has kind of an unexpected reaction and said that, you know, he's leaving to his cabin and that she has to respect that. I don't really understand how Colin didn't just even have an idea that they would have hooked up, because I had no doubt, like as a fan, they were traveling together. They had this thing, like, I mean, the odds that they didn't would have been very slim in my book. But Colin's super weirded out and seems surprised. Not sure why, again. And, yeah, like, he sends Daisy away, kind of, like, seems to, like, shame her for it. I mean, Gary and Colin then have this awkward conversation on deck about it where, yeah, I didn't expect this, but he's like, Daisy gave me some news. Colin's confused about their friendship. Like, Gary admits that he brought it up to get back at her. Is this seriously the end of the bromance between Gary and Colin? Like, wow, what a delicate friendship that this is truly what's going to take it down. Or are they, like, acting? Like, I'm not sure. Like, what is happening? And Colin is just so hurt about it. It's crazy. I still can't believe it. And at one point, Daisy and Colin kind of agree, like, okay, I'll do me and you do you kind of thing. So I don't know. I guess it was a very delicate situation. After all that, I don't know where Colin and Daisy go from here. I guess we'll have to watch the rest of the season. I feel like they probably finished on like a good foot, but I don't know if they're going to continue whatever they were doing. So Colin calls his sister to talk about it, and she basically says that Daisy was probably embarrassed to have hooked up with Gary, and that Colin should decide if he wants to spend more time with her or not, and start fresh if needed. So, which was good advice. I mean, it was good advice. Hopefully Colin can look past it, especially given the culture of the boatmances in the show and everything. And I mean, it was in the past, but it is his friend, so I understand. But he knows Daisy, and she shouldn't, like, judge her integrity based on that. So anyways, just trying to understand and hoping they can work past it, because I kind of, like, am obsessed with them together. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening and watching. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.